Yes, my name's Stella Krain. I'm an occupational therapist and a trusted assessor, and I have been working with the locality therapy team since 2016. So recently, about 2.5 years ago, I helped set up the chat team, which is the community hospital admissions avoidance team, together with Nikki Ware, physiotherapist. And then since April this year, we've also been involved in the integrated discharge team. So, yeah.
Excellent, brilliant. If you could just try not to bring your papers up, because
how far are you filming from?
Actually, I've just got the microphone in shot.
Yeah.
So you're fine there.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
It can be tempting to kind of.
Yeah.
But you can go that a little bit higher if you needed to.
Yeah. Okay.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay. So could you describe the journey that has led you into this opportunity?
Yeah, so I joined the locality therapy team 4 years ago, and that was a rehab role, and that team's led by Anita Frost. And then an opportunity came up to be involved in setting up of an urgent therapy team. The locality therapy team were getting quite a few urgent referrals where people need seeing within 24 hours. So it's very hard if you're trying to do long-term rehab with someone to see those patients. So there was myself, Nikki Ware, who's my job share at the moment, and Norma Gelder, therapy support worker. So us three were running that team there. And then about 2.5 years ago, an opportunity came up to work as a trusted assessor. So a kind of pilot project run for 6 months, funded by the Better Care Fund. So Nikki Ware, my job share, and I went for that, and we were successful in getting that job. So we set up a new role, going into ED and working on AMU, just to get patients back out into the community rather than being admitted to hospital. So after 6 months, the figures are really good. So we found that 73% of the patients that we were assessing, we could actually get back home straight away that day. So on the back of that, Anita Frost, our manager, managed to put forward a business case so we could get a whole team together. So we've now got 3 band 6s and 2 support workers, as well as myself and Nikki, working in that team. And then April this year, with all the COVID pandemic, the government wanted therapists to be working within the integrated discharge teams. So Nikki and I took our trusted assessor role, which is a kind of role where we're being very holistic and generic. So Nikki and I work as partly OTs and physios, both of us. Obviously, we can go to each other if we need specialist advice, but we're basically doing the same role. And also we're working on behalf of the fast response nurses in chat. So we have altered our assessment paperwork so that we can do their assessment, so the fast response nurses don't need to come up to hospital and assess in ED. We can do that assessment for them and just discuss things over the phone. So that kind of trusted assessor bit, and knowing about social services has really helped this role in IDT. So we can help in a coordination type of role and looking at therapy kind of issues that might be stopping people going home, and working together with the inpatient therapists who've actually assessed the patients to try and get those patients home quicker than maybe otherwise would be the case. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. What have been some of the notable challenges and, importantly, the opportunities and gains along the way?
Yeah, there's been quite a few challenges. So when Nikki and I first came into the hospital to start the trusted assessor role, we literally just turned up at the hospital and we were like, what are we going to do now? So we had no room, no office space, no desk. We had no paperwork. We didn't know the people in the hospital. We didn't know exactly what our job role was going to be. But we managed to just develop that role. We had a week to get everything together, and then we started off so that Nikki was working half the week in the hospital and I was in the urgent team in the community, and then we swapped over halfway through the week, so I was in hospital and she was out in the community. So yeah, just trying to work through that and trying to do the 2 jobs, the urgent team and the trusted assessor role. It's a bit of a challenge, but that's been great. We've worked through that. And then there's the challenges that come with trying to get patients home. So trying to work within this NHS system that can be so clunky and difficult sometimes to get everyone working together at the same time to get someone home. So sometimes there might be issues with trying to get medication to get someone home if they're on AMU, or there might be issues with transport occasionally, although everything's improving. And then there's also been problems because of the way the NHS and the social services work in very different systems and being able to get care quick enough to get people home. So we relied a lot on the integrated rapid response team to help us get people home. But then sometimes they've got full as well because they're in quite high demand. So that can be another issue. But then, yeah, opportunities. It's been great to work with so many different people to get to know different professions and people within the hospital. We've had the chance to work with the frailty team and support them. We've had the chance just since April to work in integrated discharge team. So that's been great, being able to see everything at the front door with the chat team and then see everything at the back door, as it were, in the hospital with the integrated discharge team. So we can help speed up discharges there. And just having that chance, we're really lucky because we've got a trust that works in the acute side in hospital and in the community. So that's enabled us as a locality therapy team reaching into the hospital to have a smooth transition for patients, just to get them straight out. So one of the best bits of my job has been when I can see a patient in ED and then the next day see them at home and actually follow them up at home. And that's better for the patients and the carers. They're not repeating all the same information, we're not duplicating assessments. So, yeah, it's been great to see how just our small little role has made a difference to getting patients home quicker.
Yeah, that's priceless, isn't it? Okay, what key advice would you give to up-and-coming talent who might be looking forward to follow in your footsteps?
I would say look for opportunities that you might have, that might be there, that where you can make a difference. I think we're all just little cogs really going round, and you can join in with other cogs part of your team, and just even you as one little person can make a difference, can have an influence on what happens within the hospital and make a difference to patients and carers. So look for those opportunities. I'd also say we're not in this alone, so seek support from your colleagues. There's no way I could have done this by myself, so it was only that Nikki and I were doing this together that's really made it work, and we can bounce ideas off each other and share all the stresses and the bad days and look for problem-solving ways to improve what we're doing. I'd also say use your supervision time. As an OT, occupational therapists, we're really keen on supervision, and throughout my whole career I found that so invaluable, just having someone there where I can talk through difficult things or just plan the way forward, where someone's looking to make sure you're meeting your goals. So I'd say that's really important. And then just that you are part of a team. So we're all sort of lots of little teams within the hospital, and I think linking in with those different teams to move forward. I'd also say develop your leadership skills. So I know in Rotherham Hospital we've got a really good learning and development department, and that's really helped me going on some of their courses, and especially the lead course I had the opportunity to go on last year, which is really, really helpful. I know it's not running at the moment because of coronavirus, but yeah, definitely that's a good one to go on. And I'd just say keep learning as well. So have a really open mind and be curious about why things aren't working, what makes things work when they do work, and just keep trying to learn from each other and how you can improve things.
That sounds like really good advice for almost anyone, really. So to don't just sit and wait for things to happen, put yourself out there, be visible, and join in. Yeah. Really good. Yeah, I'll take some of that on board. And looking to the future, what hopes do you have for the occupational therapy profession and AHPs in general?
I think occupational therapists are in a fantastic position to help lead services. We're the only profession that's trained across physical health, mental health and social services. So we can have our fingers in lots of different pies. So I would just encourage any OTs out there to really go for it and see what you can do, or how you can make a difference. But also as AHPs, so I think it's really important that me and my job chair, Nikki, actually work very generically the same within the locality therapy team generally, because I think that means that you're not just looking at your own little area, you are thinking a bit more widely about what someone's issue is. And to a patient, they're not just interested in, say, how you're walking or what equipment they need. There's lots of other things that are concerning them. So just being aware of all the different professions there are. And as AHPs, I think we all need to work together as kind of one big team, because we're all looking holistically at what that one person needs. So I think, the profession, AHPs, then need to really work hard just to promote themselves a bit more and to use the skills we've got, because what we do is invaluable for patients and the quality of life and making their lives meaningful and more fulfilling.
And it sounds like in your line of work as well, that the more experience you have and the more connections that you make, the more you can signpost the patient to other areas that might be out of your skill set, shall we say.
Definitely.
You're not just trying to isolate the problem and be the only solution to their problem. It's kind of
we can signpost people to the other professions we know.
That's great. And I'm sure you know what the final thing is here, the motivational message. It's funny, I've been looking at Obama recently and some of the things that he said, and I came across one thing, if I can find it here, that he said, which I found really poignant. So, change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. That's really good. That's brilliant.